My name is Christine Schonbacher. I'm a partner at Denton's. I am on the board of directors of the Women's Bar. I'm also co-chair for this TWLIL event. The WBAI is so pleased to award the Top Women Legislators in Leadership Award to Senator Fine. The award recognizes legislators that are going out of their way to improve the lives of Illinoisans, particularly women, that are trying to make our lives better. It's so important to recognize people that are fighting the good fight. Part of the reason that this award is so important to the Women's Bar is that we are also in the trenches with the legislators, and we work as attorneys and help pass productive good legislation. And so we have worked alongside with Senator Fine in some of her legislation.
My name's Ashley Stead. I'm an attorney with McGann, Ketterman and Rue. I'm currently the chair of the Women's Bar Association Political Action Committee. The WBAI Top Legislator and Leadership Award is given to women in public office who are contributing to the advancement of women through their service. I nominated Senator Fine for this award because I believe that she embodies a leader that is both intelligent and practical, as well as kind and compassionate. I met Senator Laura Fine in 2018 when I was working for the Illinois State Senate. She had just become a senator. She previously served in the House of Representatives. This year, Senator Fine sponsored two pieces of legislation that the Women's Bar Association supported. The first was Senate Bill 212, which expanded the Nursing Mothers in the Workplace Act to require employers to provide paid breaks to nursing moms in the workplace. That bill passed and has since been signed into law. The second bill, which was even more exciting, was House Bill 3638. Now, this bill amended the Workplace Transparency Act, which is pretty special to WBAI because our members actually had a seat at the table to help craft that law when it initially passed in the wake of the Me Too movement. We got to work directly with Senator Fine to negotiate the bill, to help draft legislation, and we even had a member testify in committee before the Senate Labor Committee about the bill. That measure expanded the Workplace Transparency Act to provide protections from workers so they're not required to sign non-disclosure agreements or NDAs beyond just workplace harassment and discrimination to cover all types of working conditions, wage and hour issues, any type of workplace issue. So we worked very closely with Senator Fine this year to get that bill over the finish line, and that measure has also recently been signed into law.
My name is Megan Goldish. I am the Secretary of Membership for the Women's Bar Association. I am a judge in the Domestic Violence Division of the Cook County Circuit Court. I have known Senator Laura Fine for approximately 12 years. She was on the ballot for the House at the time I was running for judge. I had the fortunate opportunities to keep running into her at various legislative events and various civic and charitable organizations events. There were so many reasons that I nominated her. Everything that she's done for women, for women's reproductive rights, for women's rights in the workplace, and for children. To me, she leads by example, and she's really been a mentor to other women in the legislature, from interns to clerks to elected officials. And that's important because she's creating a pipeline of talented women who are going to come forward and be, again, the next generation of leaders.
My name is Laura Fine. I'm a state senator in the 9th State Senate District. So currently in the Senate, I chair the Mental Health Committee, I vice chair the Insurance Committee, and I'm chair of the Green Caucus. I do a lot of mental health work, insurance reform work. I'm really proud of the work that I've done with healthcare and mental health in Illinois. I've passed some of the strongest mental health parity legislation in the country. And with my insurance reform work, when I first came into Springfield, Illinois was one of the top states when it came to canceling health insurance policies when people needed them the most. And now we're one of the most consumer-friendly states with healthcare. And it's because of the work that I've put into it. And I'm very proud of that. I'd never planned on running for this type of office before. About 15 years ago, my husband was in a horrific car accident, and he lost his left arm in the accident. We were victim of the insurance industry when they tried to cancel our health care policy when we needed it the most. So my challenge was I went back and got licensed in insurance so I could figure out what Illinois was and law was and what needed to be changed and started working with my electeds to say, this is what I learned, this is what needs to be done. And then the seat opened up and they said, well, why don't you run? But I think the biggest challenge I faced when I got there was I thought that I can go in there and I could make changes right away. And then I realized how powerful the lobby was. And it took me establishing myself before I could really start making some major breakthroughs. But if you don't give up, you could get it done. I'm very fortunate because I've had a lot of mentors. My first role model was probably my grandmother. And I say that because she was the kindest person in the world, but got things done. And so she taught me from a very young age to treat everybody with respect and dignity, but don't let anybody step on you. The advice I would have for a woman is always stay true to who you are. It's okay to be kind, and kindness is not weakness. Kindness is consideration, and you can still get the job done. In this past session, I passed legislation to make sure that women who are on the job get paid breaks for breastfeeding so they don't have to choose between feeding their children and going to work. I also passed legislation this past session that makes it easier to file complaints in your workplace without having to be targeted. And that's something that's obviously very important, and I've worked with the Women's Bar Association on that piece of legislation. I am so honored to be receiving this because as women, we're not in it for the glory. We're in it to help people and get a job done. To be recognized by this group of women who are intelligent and sophisticated and hardworking, it just makes you feel really good to be recognized by such heroes.